Morning, guys. Welcome to Coffee Chat. Guys, not my first sip this morning. I'll tell you what, I was up pretty early. Had an early business meeting to attend to and stuff like that. And, Friday mornings, I always love Fridays. I mean, everybody, the whole TGIF thing. I'll tell you what, even when you retire, there's just something about Fridays that just feel extra special. It's kind of that, maybe it's built right into us from years of working on the treadmill and the hamster wheel, as we would say. And, Fridays was going to be the beginning of your weekend. And so you always feel positive about Fridays. And guys, I'll tell you what, I am so excited about what's going on in this space. It seems like we're getting new developments all the time. And I'm reading an article there on Zero Hedge this morning. And I go through a number of articles, guys, before I choose the one I'm going to talk about. And this one is about exchange traded notes over in the UK. They have lifted a ban for retail investors to have access to these exchange traded notes. And it is a positive move, for this space over in the UK, because we know that in the UK, they have not been so crypto friendly, at least towards retail, even though they are adopting the technology hands down in a big way, through the government and all that kind of stuff. But for whatever reason, they make it as difficult as can be for the retail person and stuff like that to get involved. Well, they've lifted this ban, and I'm going to put the article right down in there, and it is a positive development for the space. Things are changing, guys. They are changing. And so when we see, the negative sentiment and, the market is a little bit down, and of course there's all kinds of macro reasons for that, doesn't mean that crypto, oh my gosh, we made a mistake, such a bad investment, down she goes. No, it doesn't. And that's the thing I always talk about when I talk about, when in doubt, zoom out. The reason I say that is because I want folks to be encouraged to have a broader view. Now, I know a lot of you out there watching, you are right on top of it. You've been a part of this, community for a long, long time. You've been a part of the space for a long, long time. And you know that, what's kind of going on. You've been around. This is not your first rodeo, as we would say. But there are also, guys, a lot of new people getting into this space month upon month, way more than ever. I mean, the space is getting a lot of traction. There are people I talk to, in coaching and stuff. They have just literally within the last, 30, 60, 90 days found out about XRP. And so we got to have, that kind of grace that to understand that, hey, look, there's a lot of people onboarding, which is what we want for sure in the space. The greater level of adoption and retail awareness, the better, right? But, they're not aware of all the things that we've had to live through. And they're not used to the volatility that we face in this space. And of course, they can get so easily scammed, number one. Lots of scams out there. And by the way, guys, having said that, look, I'm not on Facebook, not on Twitter, not on TikTok. Well, I'm on Twitter, sorry, forgive me, X. But that's at Digital Outlook 3, all lowercase. I got a lot of, copycats on there trying to scam you. But I'm not on TikTok. I'm not on Instagram or any of those other ones. And I will never, ever DM you with some special deal or charge you, money to go on a live stream or any of that. So, guys, be safe, be safe. But a lot of new people, they're subject to these scams and they're subject to the psychology in this marketplace. So it is so vitally important that we keep up front and center and making folks aware that, look, when we face times like this, it is not a time for crying. It is really a time for buying. And things are changing big time. The regulatory clarity that is coming into this space is mind-blowing. And having said that, guys, when government starts up again, there is a lot of, kind of like rumor going around that this Clarity Act, they are going to want to push this thing through and fast. When that happens, I think the catalyst that's coming and the fact that the exchange traded funds over here in the United States for XRP and all that kind of stuff, it is going to literally cause this thing to fly. It will, because there is such pent up demand into the billions of dollars for exposure by these institutional players for XRP. Now, why can they not have it through other than ETF? Their fiduciary responsibility, guys. So through their fiduciary responsibility, they cannot hold directly the underlying asset, but they can get exposure to it. And of course, exchange traded funds allow that. Well, there are a lot of folks out there saying, listen, when this takes place, you could literally experience a massive supply shock for XRP that could cause the price of it to literally overnight explode. And where do we see that? Well, we know Coinbase, hey, they used to have like a massive amount of XRP. They don't have it so much anymore. Do you know that there are a ton of exchanges around the wide world in the same boat? Yep, there are. And you think of the approval. And I'm sure that some of these spot ETFs have gone out there and already accumulated some. But guys, when they release them, and you got 18 or so of them, and they're going to be competing with one another. They haven't filled up their whole bags. They are going to back up the truck. They're going to scoop it up as much as they can directly, of course, from the retail market. They're going to get it from Ripple. They're going to get it from everywhere they can. That is going to cause a, crunch big time. And a lot of folks out there are saying, look, get ready for it. You could see a big supply shock. It is not like there are just, ample tons of supply. Most of XRP is already in institutional hands. Did you know that? And of course, during the lawsuit, we found out about the 1,700 non-disclosure agreements with Ripple, and the escrow is a part of that. Do you realize that retail only holds maybe 2% of XRP? Yep, that's it. And so when a lot of these folks say, oh, they'll never let this many of us get rid, there's not that many of us, guys. That's the deal. That is what is causing me to be as bullish as can be, because I believe it's probably one of the most underappreciated assets in any asset class, XRP, because of the problems it's going to solve, the institutional demand, all the things that are going for. Ripple's out there, with the office of the controller of the currency, the comptroller of the currency, applying for a banking license. And by the way, so the rumors are out there right now that license could literally be approved this month. I'm telling you, they get that. That is another big time catalyst for some major appreciation, at least in my books, my 100% biased opinion. And that's where, guys, we're taking a look at this space. Things are changing, and they're changing big time, and it's going to happen fast. Guys, when these things move, and I believe between this and this next quarter, I do personally believe that we are going to see another major spike in XRP, and it is going to shock a lot of folks. Most, I don't think, are even going to be ready for it. That is my personal belief. I've been here. I've seen the sentiment. I've seen all this kind of stuff. I've heard every rationale, all the reasons for this, that, whatever. And of course, I've lived through every kind of up, down, like I say, sideways action. You can imagine. I mean, in the last 5 years, what we've gone through, Judy and I, with our investments, I'm telling you, it's put everyone, it put the strongest people to the test for sure. And a lot of us went through that together. There are people who have subscribed to this channel, probably my first 1, 2, 3 subscribers, and they're still with us. And you know what? They were there when we went through it ourselves. And what we learned and the perspective that we have, that is why we are so bullish. Look, it changed the lifestyle that we had within that 13 months. And from then till now, what we've accumulated and what we put into the space, what we've learned, the people that we've met, the conversations that we've had, the rooms that we've been invited into to hear conversations. I'm telling you, guys, I wish you could be a fly on the wall and just see what we see. You would not even have to question your investment with XRP. You would have the same level of confidence we do. That's why I'm always out there encouraging you. Look, get out and really do your part and do that due diligence. Don't just base it on what you're watching here on YouTube. And YouTube is great. YouTube is Confluence, but it's not research. And another thing, that is another reason why we do not have all these sponsors. Because I remember when I was on the other side of this camera, and what it was like for us, following different people on YouTube and stuff like that. And guys, I'm going to tell you, for me, I love the fact that I can come out here and tell you, listen, the reason we don't have these sponsors is because I want to give you my biased opinion. I want you to get it from the horse's mouth, someone who has been there and knows exactly what you feel like, knows exactly what your hopes and aspirations are, knows exactly like what it is to come into a space not knowing one iota about it, nothing, and learning from scratch. Look, Judy and I got scammed, we got rug pulled, we got hurt. all that kind of stuff, lost thousands upon thousands upon thousands with stupidity and mistakes that we made, which, by the way, we disclose and share in our coaching as well. We're not hiding it, guys. We allow you to see the warts and all of what we experienced, but we want to do that so that you can get the benefit. Why go down that road and make the same mistakes that someone else made if they can be avoided? And that's why we do what we do, the way in which we do it. And so, look, I'm ready to take the flack from folks say, oh, this guy is way too positive, must be a little Kahlua in his coffee, and on they go. Why am I positive? Because, guys, look, it helped me to achieve the dreams that we had in life. And you know what our dreams were? Very straightforward. We wanted to be at a place where we could have time with our family, our children, our grandchildren, and all of that, and not worry about, hey, can we make it next month? Oh, did we get that? Or that? Like, getting off the hamster wheel, which I know that is what a lot of you desire. It's not about being so buku rich that we're walking, driving around in Bugattis and all that kind. Hey, that would be nice. But that's not the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal for us was one another. Family, friends, time. I think that's what a lot of people are looking for from this space. And guys, boy, oh boy, does my heart desire for you to have that as well. I'll tell you that right now. So guys, cheer up. Don't get discouraged. Zoom, when in doubt, zoom out. That's what I throw down right there. Things are changing big time, I'll tell you what. And so until later on today, when we have another fabulous video for you guys, have a great one and take care.